President vests the power of public finance for the next 3 months to the Treasury. Payment for the finance depositors to be paid from Sunday. Department of Coast Conservation lodges a complaint with the police with regard to the waste material in the Mount Beach. Today marks the World Environmental Day. A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Martin Sathinesan, and today marks Poson Full Moon Poe Day. 218 years after Lord Buddha attained Nirvana, the Third Buddhist Council took place with Indian Emperor Dharmashoka providing state patronage. As a result, Buddhism spread to 9 other countries. Thereafter, in 236 before Christ, on a day like today, during the reign of King Devanambiya Tissa, Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka by Mihindu Maharahat Thero and the monks who travelled to Sri Lanka from Dambadiva. As a result of this visit, a group led by Prince Aritta entered the Buddhist order. Thereafter, the most venerable Sangamitta Theri undertook a visit to Sri Lanka with a sacred bow sapling from Bodh Gaya, accompanied by persons trained in 18 different trades. Issuing a message in line with the Poson Poe Day, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said Sri Lanka will strive towards prosperity inspired by Dhamma and strengthened by our past experience.
President said justice for all prevails in a spiritually virtuous, disciplined and prosperous society. The message goes on to say the government not only plans for the present but also for the future based on that solid foundation. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, issuing a message to mark Poson Poe Day, said Sri Lanka succeeded in controlling the COVID-19 pandemic as we work together in unity as a country based on the nourishment of Buddhism and its virtues. His message further notes that Sri Lanka can eliminate the threat of COVID-19 pandemic and progress ahead. Former leader of the opposition and leader of the Samaga Jana Balawege, Sajith Premadas, in his message for Poson Poe Day said, Buddhism guides us to practice resilience at a time when the world is going through a pandemic.
More news in line with the Poson Poe Day. The state Poson ceremony is held at the historic Mihintale premises. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is also set to join the event today.
This year's State Poson Festival is held under the theme Arogya Paramalabha, meaning health is the ultimate profit. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa inaugurated the State Poson ceremony yesterday by opening the Aloka Puja held at Mihintale. Many religious activities are held under strict health guidelines. Today the President is also expected to join the inauguration of the Aloka Puja at Mihintale premises. Officials from the Anuradhapura Police Headquarters engaged in religious activities at the Jayashri Mahabodhiya. The Secretary of Defence, retired Major General Kamal Gunratne, and Commander of the Sri Lanka Army, Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva, obtained blessings at the Ruwanveli Mahasaya. Owing to the curfew being imposed, religious activities at the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic were held without the participation of devotees. Meanwhile, the 198th Dhamma sermon of Ama Dhamsi Siladeshanava series, organised during every Poe Day by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, was held at the Carlton residence in Tangol. The sermon was held under the auspices of Koggalle Vijitasiri Thero, senior lecturer in Pali and Buddhist studies at the University of Ruhuna. Religious activities at the Gal Vihare in Polonnaruwa were held under the auspices of Chief Incumbent Venerable Kanda Kati Attadasi Thero. Religious observances were held without the participation of devotees at the Gangaramaya Temple in Colombo today to mark the Poson Poya. Meanwhile, the Gangaramaya Temple also made arrangements to distribute 1,000 food parcels to the needy.
Finance Ministry has prepared an interim budget of 1,043 billion rupees from June 1st to August 2020.
According to the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, S.R. Artigal, the budget was made citing authority given to the President under the Constitution to spend money in absence of appropriations approved by Parliament. A total of 644.1 billion rupees has been allocated for the current spending for June to August and 398.8 billion rupees for capital spending including debt repayments.
Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the depositors of the Finance Company will be paid starting from Sunday the 7th of June. The payments will be made at 60 People's Bank branches across the island. Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva says that among the total amount of COVID-19 patients in the country, 836 are sailors of the Sri Lanka Navy. He added that 551 patients were from overseas. Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva further added that the remaining 409 patients have been identified from the community. A total of 48 COVID-19 patients have been identified yesterday. This brings the total number of COVID-19 patients in the country to 1,797. As of now, 947 patients are receiving treatment at hospitals. The number of total recoveries stands at 839. According to the Ministry of Health, 56 patients suspected to have contracted COVID-19 are currently receiving treatment in hospitals. Sri Lanka has reported 11 COVID-19 deaths so far. Today is World Environmental Day. In 1972, the United Nations has named 5th of June as the World Environment Day. The theme of the World Environment Day in 2020 is celebrating biodiversity.
According to the provisions of Article 28 of the Constitution, every citizen has an obligation to protect the environment, and many people do not know that there is such a right and obligation under the Constitution, and people should be more mindful and more assertive about protecting the environment. So everyone has a role to play, and everyone can play a role regardless of their position in the society. So people have to think what they can do individually, and they are more powerful when they get together into a small group at least to make some change.
Our correspondents reported that the waste material that was washed ashore on the Mount Lavinia beach is now being removed. According to our correspondents, the Mount Lavinia police has taken action to remove the garbage this morning. Environmental organizations and volunteer organizations also took part in the cleanup operation. The Department of Coast Conservation and Coastal Resource Management said there are suspicions that a certain company has begun dumping garbage to the Mount Lavinia beach. Director General of the department, Prabhat Chandrakirti, said a complaint in this regard with the police was filed this morning. Chandrakirti further said garbage has collected covering around 200 square feet at the Mount Lavinia beach. Here are a few views expressed in the political arena regarding the sand nourishment project done in the Mount Lavinia beach.
The
Calido and Mount Lavinia beaches have been completely destroyed. They have filled sand without any environmental assessment report. 800 million for Calido Beach and 900 million for Mount Lavinia and Angulana. All these were washed away. There is no one to take responsibility, and when things go wrong, they point fingers at each other. The officials say the motive is to create a beach in Vallavatta by filling sand in Mount Lavinia, but none of the reports say there is such a motive. However, all the plans were futile and a considerable amount of sand washed away to Vallavatta. So now the officials say, quote, "Can you see, we filled sand to Mount Lavinia and created a beach in Vallavatta," end quote. I don't know whether to laugh or cry at these statements. This is what happened in Calido and Angulana as well. These are the results of unplanned as well as officials who are greedy for commission and who are incompetent. Where are the experts and scientific methods? This project was started under former State Minister Jayantha Samaravira to conserve the Calido beach. It is not a bad initiative. Many tourist hotels and coastal life was safeguarded through this project. I believe the officials should focus more on the technical and scientific aspect when it comes to Mount Lavinia. So there is a good and a bad side as well. I assure to take action on authorities who are responsible for this misconduct.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Martin Satyanesan. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon.